The Toronto Raptors trade deadline was perfect. A lot of people are giving them crap for going out and getting Brandon Ingram, but they literally got an all-star for nothing. Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk were negative assets to this Raptors team that is definitely rebuilding, and now they bring in an all-star who they can choose to extend or let walk, and all they gave up was Indiana's first-round pick next year. Now, the fit alongside Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett is definitely an interesting one, but I think it's something that the Raptors can work out. You got Grady Dick to fit in there as well, so that's what we're looking at in today's video. Now, some people were hating on this trade, but I actually like it. I'm not going to lie. Brandon Ingram is an extremely talented scorer. He averages 22.2 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, and 5.2 assists per game this year, but on his career, he's closer to about 24. He shoots 47% from the field and 37% from three on the season on 5.7 attempts in 18 games played. So those efficiency numbers, I would expect him to be sitting more around like 48, 38, maybe 49, 39. He is an improving three-point shooter. As 6 attempts, that's pretty solid volume for a guy shooting almost 38% from three on very few catch and shoot threes, right? He's creating his own shot, but that three-point shooting was part of the reason he didn't really fit alongside Zion long-term. We'll see how he fits with RJ Barrett long-term because both are more slashing archetypes versus shooters, but he is an expiring contract, so if the Raptors don't want to re-sign him after this little experiment goes, they don't have to. This is a win-win. They get an all-star caliber player for Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, who are not going to be Raptors next year, and a first-round pick that belongs to Indiana. So they lose essentially nothing and get an all-star caliber player that they get to decide if they want to bring back or not. Now we got to talk about the young big three that the Raptors have, and I'm aware people are calling it the mid three, and maybe it is the mid three, but Scotty Barnes, I still have a lot of hope he can be a star in this league one day. On the year, he's averaging about 20 points per game, which is a little bit disappointing. I was hoping for like 22, 23 this year, but 8 boards, 6.5 assists is very nice. He can run the offense somewhat. If he's doing this is tough. We're talking about a half spin fadeaway over Siakam falling into somebody. That's a tough shot right there. 45% shooting from the field for him on the year, 25% from three on over 6 attempts. We got to have a talk, right? That's not good whatsoever. He does play with great change of pace, which is something I like. As you can see, coming downhill, that's something that, is tough. You see it more out of foreign players, and to see Scotty doing it, at 6'9", that's a nice to have in the bag. But last year, he shot 34% from three on 5 attempts, and we were thinking, this is going to be the year. He's going to improve it and everything, and then, it didn't really work out that way because he's shooting horrendous splits from beyond the arc. He is 6'7" with a 7'3" wingspan, so that helps anything. And obviously Masai Ujiri, he loves that archetype. He continues to trade for more and more. I still think Scotty Barnes could be really good. We didn't even talk about his defensive impact. Now, as for RJ Barrett, he averages 21.6 points a game, 6.6 rebounds, 5.7 assists, and a steal. He's having a decent year, right? Another guy that I was really hoping would be more efficient this year. Just not efficient whatsoever. 47% from the field, 35% from three. 47% from the field, I take that back. That's fairly efficient. 3-point wise, that's below league average. He still hasn't gotten back to the numbers that he was putting up in 2020, 2021, where he shot 41% or 40% from three. As a Knick, he hasn't done that. He was getting closer last year, but he still continues to just be a great driver, and really that's it. Now, he can shift bigs. He's a mismatch problem because, as you can see here, he can shift a big like Siakam, who tries to switch onto him, and he's too big for a guard to try and handle, so it is a little bit of a mismatch problem. He also runs the pick and roll very well. Watch him read Obi Toppin right here. As soon as he comes off the screen, he's just reading Obi Toppin, waiting for him to make his move. He never really does. RJ gets really deep and just drops it off the Acapurdo for the easy layup. So yeah, I like RJ overall. Just can you please just shoot 37% from three? That's all I'm asking. And then a big question the Raptors need to ask themselves, are they keeping Emmanuel Quickley or are they trading him? They just signed him to this massive extension where he's getting $32.5 million a year for the next 5 years. Masai Ujiri really needs to look in the mirror and, are we keeping this guy long term? Because this year he's having a horrible season. 15 points a game, 5.7 assists, 2 rebounds. Just not good numbers, and he's only played in 12 games. And he's only shooting 41% from the field and 37% from three on 5 attempts. Not good numbers whatsoever for the 6'3". He's really quick, Emmanuel Quickley, but that's, he's got a really nice float game. We'll talk about it. Mid-range game. I like the three-point shooting. Last year, he was so much better. And maybe we can attribute it to he hasn't gotten to the flow because he's only played 12 games. That's what we'll mark that up to this year. But right now, I've been very disappointed with Emmanuel Quickley's season so far. He still has that elite float game that he can rely on, but it's been disappointing. And right now, people are saying the Raptors have taken the Bulls' place as the middest team in the league. And, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. They do have a pretty solid bench, led by Grady Dick, who I imagine will slide down there, although he could continue to start while Brandon Ingram still comes back from injury. He's having a really good sophomore year. 15.6 points a game, 3.3 rebounds, couple of assists a night. Now he's only shooting 42% from the field and 35% from three, which is a bit concerning. That's not a great percentage, but this is a tough shot right here, right? His shot diet is much harder than it was last year. Coming flying off of a screen, fading into the other team's bench, knocking down a corner three, that's tough. He's also being a shot creator this year, getting to his spot and knocking down that step-back jumper, and that's over a really good defender in Andre Jackson Jr. That's a tough shot to hit, and he knocks it down with ease. He is definitely more than just a catch-and-shoot guy. That's kind of the rap he got coming out of college. He's definitely more than that. You see the step-back crossover into the step-back there. Now, this is a catch-and-shoot in transition. Still a difficult shot, and then pump fake, one dribble, knocking it down, no problem. That's a free throw for Grady Dick at this point. And then, facilitating a little bit as well, finding Jakob Poeltl right here, and then getting all the way to the rack and finishing over Brook Lopez and Giannis. That is not an easy thing to do whatsoever. And then you also got to talk about Ochai Agbaji, who has had a fantastic year for this Toronto Raptors team. He's averaging 10.4 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and a steal in 26 minutes a game, and he's been a plus defender thus far for this Raptors team. I was a huge fan of Ochai coming out of Kansas, and he's finally found a home, and I really, really like that. He's using that 6'6 frame with a 6'10 wingspan to really get out in passing lanes and disrupt the other team's offense. He's also shooting a blistering 52% from the field and 41% from three on 4 attempts. Would love to see this guy get some more volume because RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, all these guys driving into the paint, they attract so much attention that people forget about Ochai. And he's just hanging out there shooting 41% from three on the year as a catch-and-shoot wing. That is a great percentage, and the Raptors are definitely going to look to extend him in the very near future. Now, we talked about Poeltl a little bit earlier. Let's continue to talk about him right here, right? 14.2 points a game, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.2 blocks to go with 1.3 steals, so 2.5 stocks on the year. Not bad for Poeltl. He's got that little push shot that he loves. He shoots 61% from the field in 31 minutes a game for the 29-year-old. I think he's a solid post. I imagine he stays in Toronto. We'll see what happens. This team definitely is not going to be competing for playoff spots, right? But they couldn't make a push to the play-in because they had a 10-game stretch where they went 8-2 just a week ago. This is a team that, was winning games. We also got to talk about Jamison Battle, the rookie who on the year may only be averaging 5.4 points and less than 2 rebounds in 13 minutes a game, but he's shooting 46% from the field and 41% from three on 3 attempts. This is a guy the Raptors got to keep in the rotation, and they got to get him some more minutes going forward. As a 23-year-old, he looks like he can legitimately be a rotation piece. And then today, the Raptors also did trade Davion Mitchell, so it looks like they're looking for Jamal Shead and Jacoby Walter to be their young guards of the future. Don't hate that whatsoever. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. We're looking for 300 likes on today's video. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching.